South reporting. For more on the delayed Chinese tariffs, let's go to our Washington correspondent, senior Washington correspondent Dan Raviv. Dan, there are a couple reasons President Trump is postponing these Chinese tariffs, right?
Yes, when he was speaking to reporters, at that really noisy airport in New Jersey, he was about to leave for Pittsburgh to give a speech today. He said there were two reasons. First, he mentioned an encouraging phone call between the Treasury Secretary Steven Mnuchin and the Chinese official who's in charge of the trade talks. The president said the Chinese really want to do something very dramatic. That sounded good. That was encouraging for the stock market. There could be a trade deal sometime soon. He didn't have to remind us that the next set of talks with the Chinese is informally set for here in Washington next month. Okay, then was the other reason, a little bit emotive and a little bit of a question mark here. The president said just in case the tariffs might have an effect on American consumers during the holiday shopping period, he said he didn't want to affect that. Therefore, instead of September 1st to start the new tariffs of 10% on everything from China that didn't have a tariff before, instead of September 1st, December 15th. That'll get you through Black Friday, just around Thanksgiving time. So the president said he had Christmas in mind, Derek.
Yeah, so if you're shopping after December 15th, you're likely going to get hit with these tariffs, right?
Don't wait too long to buy the goods that are made in China. And as we all know, there's so much that is made in China. Up till now, the president had said, and he kind of fitted in that remark also at the airport, that the American consumer was not hit by the tariffs. That always seemed like really weird. A lot of people said it was just an outright lie. After all, the importers here in America or the customer, they have to pay the tariff like a tax on everything that came in. On the other hand, the White House tells us there hasn't been any upsurge in inflation. So somehow the U.S. government has collected, what did he say, $59 billion in tariffs so far on Chinese goods, and he claims it didn't come from Americans. It's kind of complicated, but part of the explanation is that China has devalued its currency. Therefore, the price of the items is actually lower than it would have been. Then you add the tax, and the government, the U.S. government, is getting all that money. It's a curious time, Derek.
So what kind of Chinese goods are we talking about, Dan, that are facing these tariffs? Electronics?
You've got to see the list. Yeah, you got to see it from the U.S. Trade Representative. Sure, you got things there that Americans are going to buy at holiday time. For instance, it did say cell phones, video game consoles, and then it said selected clothing and shoes. There'll be a more detailed list at some point before December 15th. But there's, again, a postponement on those items. And then it also said Christmas lights. It said Christmas lights, Christmas ornaments, nativity scenes, including all the characters. Jesus and the Holy Family, they're usually made in China. So any tariff on those items is also delayed until December 15th. Put that into your shopping plan, Derek.
Sure will, Dan. And, Wall Street apparently likes this tariff delay. The stock market jumped up almost immediately by around 2% today on the news.
Yeah, because of the two factors that we were talking about. One of them, it means probably that holiday shoppers in this country will feel free. They'll feel normal. The consumer won't be held back by new tariffs on imported goods. The second thing is that there was that window of light. Maybe there could be progress toward a trade deal with China when talks resume. Put both of those together, and the stock market went from slightly down to way up today, Derek.
Senior Washington correspondent Dan Raviv keeping an eye on it for us. Thank you, Dan.